Based on that topic, why do you think we need to talk about this from your perspective and your take? Ooh.
Well, there's a lot going on. So when people think of war, they think about like what's going on overseas, um, militant or things like that. There's so many different things when we think about war. What's going on culturally, in our society today, and not only just here, in the USA, but even abroad. Um, And we look at, this fight that we have, even the war that sometimes we have within our own selves, the battle between what we say good and evil, or, this side or shadow side, we all have them. So when we look at, this here war, this fight that we're still in, trying to fight for our rights just to live, freely and ethically and authentically and lovingly and have this battle just to be in the world and exist, especially when you want to look at cultures. We just have to keep it real here, right? And it's a real unfortunate, aspect, what we're fighting still for equality. I mean, I was in, conversation yesterday. I meet up with this group that's a dynamic verse of us. We all have our skill set, and there's someone that, they say if you're in a room where you're the smartest person, except for when you're educating and teaching, then you should be in another room. But in that aspect, you have these prospects of talking about what did I say to you about transforming a society for the next generation? Well, and then it was a whole thing about, what are the ethics and the things that have went by the wayside, what should stay and what shouldn't. A big thing for me is respect. Another big thing is the cultural thing of what we got going on is this war against control, trying to what is it that makes people think it's something that you need to control other people or deny people who they are because they had no control over how they came in body? And what do you fear, against that person when we're talking about culture?